Ready to travel bigger, better, and smarter in 2026? Pride and Glory Travel and Cruise Planners has unforgettable trips lined up, and you don't want to miss these. Starting May 1st, on board Royal Caribbean's Wander the Seas, departing Miami, stops in Coco Cay, San Juan, and Charlotte Amelia. Balcony rooms starting at just $15.84. On June 17th, experience the ultimate vacation. 2 nights in Las Vegas, 6 nights in Hawaii, then 2 more nights back in Vegas. This dream vacation starts at just $5,000 for 2 people. Coming in July, date to be announced. Explore Alaska on board the Carnival Miracle. See the Tracy Arm Ford, Seymour Glacier, Skagway, Janua, and Saskatchewan, and Victoria. Inside cabins start at $904 per person. Then October 17th, enjoy an 8-day Caribbean cruise on the Lure of the Seas, leaving Fort Lauderdale, making stops in Williamstown, Orangestown, and Coco Cay, starting at just $1027 per person. And on November 29th, wrap up the year with an 8-day cruise from Miami, going to Nassau, Coco Cay, and Falmouth, Jamaica, starting at just $747 per person. Don't have the full amount up front? No problem. With FlexPay, you can secure your spot today and pay over time. Spots are limited, so act now. Call 920-265-8143 or visit prideandglorytravel.com. Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planners, because your next chapter deserves a better view. Well, welcome everybody, and welcome to another episode of Respect the Talk, you guys. What's going on? I'm your host, Jerry B. Before we go any further, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment. Please, please, please. We want to hear your thoughts, especially on this one. If you believe in real conversations without yelling, without name calling, darn boo, my nephew, and without shutting people down, this is a platform for you. Share this episode with somebody who is not afraid to think differently. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss one episode, because we are not dodging topics over here. We are talking culture. We are talking film. We're talking family dynamics. And yes, we are talking about war and patriotism. Respect the Talk is not just about agreement. It's about a conversation. Now, let's get into it. What do we got, James? Come on, jump on in here, buddy.
All right, I'm co-host today, James, as usual. On today's episode, we are asking a simple story, or the simple question about with the surprising backstory. What is Sweetest Day, and where did it come from? And how did this holiday get started as in Cleveland as an act of charity and turned into something that feels like a second Valentine's Day for the year? Then we get personal with a culture check about gratitude, marriage, and how cleaning out a closet turned into a real lesson about love and appreciation. We are also talking about something deeper. What happens when parents compete with their children? And how does this affect the confidence and dynamic between the generational patterns? On the movie front, scary film, the film Scary Movie 6 is about to come out, and the Wayans brothers are stepping into the modern horror store parody once again. And finally, we're going to close with a conversation about patriotism, war, and how the United States got to be at this point with Iran. So, although I stumbled through all that, let's get into it.
All right.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.
Respect the talk. Respect the talk.
All right, there, folks, we're back here. Hey, what's up there, Boo? Before we get into our facts, me and Boo, my nephew, his name is James, but we call him Boo. Been calling him that ever since he was a little Boo. But hey, me and you always.
See me out on the streets, I go by Boo. I don't mind that at all.
You don't mind that at all? That's your nickname. It's always have been, bro. So before we get into that, I just want to talk about your weekend. How you been, man? How's everything going for you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Work's got me busy. They got me in this program for training. Hectic, but I'm loving the challenge.
That's good, man. I mean, you got. I know you was talking about your position that you're getting bumped up to, which is a supervisor role. So you're in their training now, and they're getting your butt hard at work, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't know. These folks got a lot of uh well they have a lot of faith in me.
That's good,
They
man. That's,
yeah, they pick me for this training program. Usually it could be anywhere in the store. They picked out one where it's the busiest part of the store,
right.
and as well as the person who I would be shadowing was only there for 2 weeks out of the 6 week program. So I pretty much 2 weeks with her and then got thrown into the fire full force.
Well, hey, dude, did you handle it?
Uh trying,
Handle it like a
trying.
champ, man. Hey, that shows Munster is what they call that mustard, little mustard or whatever. You get out there and jump right in, man. And, hey, dude, I got this. Don't worry about it, man. Back up off me.
Hey,
Hey, I'm proud of you, nephew. I'm proud of you, man. So
thank you,
keep up the
sir.
good
Thank
work. And I'm excited for your future there. I really am to see where you head into the next chapter of your life with this company.
thank
And if in case you folks didn't know that, every segment of your life is a chapter. It's like reading a book. You can almost write a book from the time you was born if your parents would tell you that, all the way to the end of your life, because each one of those chapters in your life, and they change daily or change weekly or monthly or yearly. It's another chapter. It changes. So hey, let's jump right into this next conversation here, folks. What is Swedish Day? Why facts? I don't know. So let me ask y'all something. Y'all, get this, y'all. I don't know where the producer come up with y'all because I don't talk like that. I don't speak
you.
Ebonics. You know what I mean? I haven't talked to him about that. But let me ask y'all something. Have you ever heard of Sweetest Day? Sweetest Day is basically an unofficial holiday that happens on the third Saturday in Cleveland, and it was not about romance at first. A group of candy makers decided to pass out over 20,000 boxes of candy to orphans, elderly people, and folks who were kind of forgotten by society. The whole point was simple. They wanted people to feel seen and cared for. Over time, though, it slowly turned into, as always, what people now call a fall Valentine's Day. Now it's more about celebrating your partner, your friends, or anybody you care about. Is it still really big in the Midwest, like Ohio and Michigan? But it is recognized in other states too. What is interesting is that it started as charity, which most of them do, and turn into romance. Maybe the real message is that kindness should not need a marketing department. Which we talked about that. I think we talked about that an episode ago, Jim. How
Yep.
things like Christmas and everything got so commercialized. Same thing here. And I think it became a Hallmark day. And I don't, I think Hallmark saying, "Oh, Sweetest Day, cards, candy, flowers." You know,
You
it's
know, and I love our producer for this one because I was definitely one of those people who were uh, very, very well. What's the opposite of optimistic about this one?
pessimistic.
I was very pessimistic about it and thought, this is a Hallmark holiday. This was somebody in marketing said, "Hey, we're not selling enough cards in October. Let's create a holiday."
Right.
I really did. I had no idea where the background truly came.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you know what, me either. And we can think our producers were coming up with some stupid stuff like this, but I appreciate it though. It's not stupid because I mean, here's the thing: a lot of people they see it, they know it's coming, but they forget about it because it's like in the back of their minds. It's not something that's in the forefront. It's kind of like Saint Nick Day. If you remember Saint Nick Day, where I think it's like December 6th or something like that, where your kids get gifts on Saint Nick, something like that. I don't know what it is. It's something weird like that. And then you got Christmas like 2-3 weeks later. So it's one of those things that Saint Nick. When is Saint Nick? I don't know, cripes, but hey, it is actually a holiday.
Okay, well, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, it's actually, I wouldn't say a holiday per se. It is actually a day because kids get certain gifts on that day for Saint Nick. And so we could talk about that at a different time. I'm sure the producer would have fun with that one too on the next episode, figuring out Saint Nick, because yeah, it's one of those things that just happened. I don't mind Sweetest Day because every day is Sweetest Day with my wife. I tell you, we love her, but we'll talk about that later too in the show. I got a special segment on that one for you folks we'll talk about. But let's go into culture check. Okay. Closet closest reality check. Okay. This this is okay, it's closet actually. Reality check. Okay, this one is really personal because we're gonna talk about this. Now, this is like I said, this is personal, folks. You gotta listen up. If you haven't listened up, you gotta listen to this one because this is deep. This is real deep. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to my wife, Tori. A lot of you folks don't know her, but you do. You will. You heard me talk about her on Facebook on our show because she needed a kidney and she's got a kidney. But after our bike ride, which she encouraged, by the way, because I decided I was going to clean my closet. Now, let me explain something. Last year before her surgery, she completely organized my closet. I mean, literally completely organized my closet. She came when I came home. She said, "I fixed your cotton. I got everything in order now, so we know what your music shirts are, your long sleeve shirts are, your Hawaiian shirts are because we do a lot of travel, and just your regular polo shirts and stuff is." I thought, "Oh, okay." So then, so don't get me wrong, I appreciate it, but I did not really understand how much work that took. So when I started straightening it up again, I realized real quick that this was not a 5-minute job. This was a full project. I literally had no clue how much effort she put into making my life easier. Sometimes you don't recognize love until you try to redo what somebody did for you. So I never questioned her love for me. Don't get me wrong, first. I never questioned her love for me. And moments like this remind me why. Now I have to go through everything, decide what do I do not need, and actually put it back in some kind of order. So to my wife, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. You're my hero, my best friend, my rock star, my travel partner, and my love of a lifetime. I appreciate you more than you know. Now, if my producer was watching, because he's on my Facebook page, he's nosy like that, he would have seen that I put a video of all my crap laid out all over my room, on Facebook, thanking my wife for what she did. And he would have showed you guys that video. He shows a video of every darn thing else, but he didn't show a video of that. But anyway, that's okay, producer. That's okay. I don't mind. I know you don't want them people to be airing my dirty laundry, as they say. So I crack me up some days, Jay. But hey, seriously, Jay, that is a great topic, man. I don't know, Kiki has done some crazy stuff for you too. I'm sure it made you like, oh, okay, she does love me. Yeah. Wait a minute, I'm losing you. What you
That
say?
was you must have heard us talking. That's why you can't
I'm losing your
call in
voice,
over the phone.
bro. Oh, okay, our BP's is short.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you. Now,
Okay. She must have heard us talking about her because she tried to call in. That's why the bad connection for that moment. Um, Actually, that was the initial thing that made me say, I really love this woman and she loves me. When we first got together, I had gone through a few things, but she for my birthday present, and the weird thing is our birthdays are one day apart. She's October 7th, I'm October 8th. But for my birthday present, rather than getting me anything else, she thought, and we had only been dating for I think for a few weeks, but she thought enough about the present that rather than getting me something that I may have wanted, she looked at me and said, "You know what? I'm going to get you something to show that I want to take care of. And she bought me a coat, and like I said, it wasn't like a super expensive coat, but it was a coat.
Yeah.
It was fall time. I think I was still wearing a light jacket, and she rather than getting me something
That you really don't
like
need.
that I really didn't need or something kind of superficial, she got me something that said, "Hey, I want to take care of you. I want to be that person in your life
Right.
that's there for you." And she bought me a coat. And to this day, I remember that as probably one of the best gifts that I had gotten from her.
Yeah. Out of all the gifts, and I'm sure you had many, but because of just that one. I guess the moral to the story, folks, is, don't look for the grandiosis of a gift from the wife. Look at the small things that they're doing to show you how much they love you. You can't sit there and just take them for granted. It's just you know and I'm not saying I took her for granted. I knew she loved me. Don't get me wrong. I knew she loved me. But that was a project that I did. I mean, it took me easy 4 or 5 hours to get that job done in my closet. It was just, and I'm talking about just my wardrobe, not even hers. I'm talking about just because she keeps her. If you know women, they keep their shit nice and organized. It's our shit that's all screwed up. I mean, her shit is all in color coded and all this crap. My shit is everywhere. But for her to took that time and like I said, not that I didn't appreciate it, I just didn't or acknowledge it. I'm trying to think of the right word. I just didn't. I think I said earlier. I didn't understand the 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 dramatic nature of what she did until I did it myself, and I was like, wow, she took this much time to do this shit. I mean, holy cow. I mean, that's love for you. And I didn't ask her to do that. And it's not her job to do that. She could have left it just like it was, and I'd have been just walking through there looking for shirts that takes me 10 minutes to find the right shirt or find the shirt I'm looking for because my shit is so disorganized in there. And she just organized it, and and that's something I will always remember to the day I die because that woke me up. That just woke me up. Anyway, anyhow, let's talk about another topic here. This is kind of stupid because when parents compete with their kids, I don't understand that shit, but whatever. Anyway, talking points, huh?
I don't either. So this one, we're probably not going to be able to talk a whole lot about it because my dad always raised me to say, I want you to do better than me.
Right.
So there was never any competition, only a push.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the same way with my kids. But anyway, sometimes parents compete with their own children because they feel insecure about their own accomplishments. That's sad. I'm sorry. A parent with narcissistic tendencies may see their child as an extension of themselves rather than an independent person. When a child succeeds, an insecure parent may interpret that success as a threat instead of something to celebrate. Competitive parents may criticize, minimize, or subtly sabotage their child's achievement to maintain control. This behavior is not limited to sports or academics. It can show up in hobbies, attention, and life milestones. Children raised in this dynamic often feel they have that nothing they do is ever good enough. Over time, they can lead to anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Generational trauma can repeat itself if parents never heal from their own unresolved issues. Let's switch gears for a moment and check in on the Winter Olympics. Well, we're going to do that first, but we got to talk about this for 2 seconds here. I don't know why that came in at. Um, Thank you. Appreciate it. But anyway, I'm like you, James. I mean, I pushed my kids to go to college. I pushed them to do whatever they needed to do to make them better. I went to college for an accountant to be an accountant. I hated the job when I came out of there because I didn't like being in a room. I'm an entertainer. I like being around people. I hated 4 walls and no windows, trying to count numbers with a bunch of people. I was wind up getting a great job too. I was a supervisor of the bookkeeping department, but I hated it with a passion. My son Marcus, your cousin, went to school for an accountant because he loved it. I mean, and he's loving it today. And now he's a CPA. He's a managing partner of a huge firm, and I mean, he's got like 40 accountants under him, and he's a managing partner now. But he loves that. And I encouraged him to continue to do that. That's what he wanted to do. So I encouraged that. My daughter Tiana, y'all, the cousin, same thing. I want you to have the best of the best. I don't know why any parent would not want. I just can't fathom this conversation of a parent.
Exactly. Exactly. That was new to me. When he brought that up, I just couldn't imagine wanting anything but the best for your child. I couldn't fathom saying or thinking I could do better.
Right.
I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna show you that I'm better than you. That's just bizarre to me.
Yeah, it is. With and everything. Everything I was raised to do. Like my parents, they always like your dad, my brother. We pushed our kids to do better. My parents pushed us to do. Hey, we want you to be successful. We want you to have what we did, what wasn't able to have. We want you to be able to get what we weren't able to get growing up. I mean, this is the way we were raised. I just don't understand the logic of. I'm sure this is real out there in somewhere, somebody's no man land, that this is actually happening too. I'm sure that is a true thing. Why or how, I have absolutely no clue. It just
I'm
blows my
curious.
mind.
Uh, I, Mr. Producer, step in. Why this subject? What story did you hear that brought this to your mind?
Oh, this is a story that you hear about on Maury and Ricky Lake and stuff like that.
Oh,
It
they're
was
still
it's,
alive?
it's,
Wait a minute. Did you say Maury and Ricky Lake, they still alive? Hell, what are you going back into old films or
yeah,
something?
yeah. It was actually we was me and my wife, we was doing something one day, and we were watching something on TV like what is like the pageants, like the mothers put their daughters in the pageants and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I remember that. Yeah, where that one girl
and
got
and
killed
they
for
take
that.
everything over the top. It's like I would say uh the thing kind of what we more so what we saw was like how they pushed them to where as if it was them more so, not really trying to
Right.
I would say be better or really compete with them, but it's like it's in that way because
Right.
they're trying to push them to be something that that they
They couldn't
that
have.
they
They
themselves may not
inspired.
even
They
they might
inspired to be,
may
but
right.
couldn't be. Yeah.
Right, exactly. They may have been wanting to be this great basketball player, but never had a good jump shot, and now they're pushing their son. Like the movie Him. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it's like they push to a certain extent to even to where the child themselves is not even having fun or enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
You know. So that's from more so where that came from. This was from a couple episodes ago we were supposed to go talk about, but
Okay. Okay. I was just curious because, like I said, and I don't know too many parents that would say um, that they can do better, or they don't want what's best for their child, or they don't want their child to succeed. But actually, I guess I can see that there are a lot of parents out there who want to live vicariously through their child. I guess that's the best way to
Well,
put it.
and what that itself is a different topic, though. The one we just talked about is about parents tearing their kids down because they don't want them to achieve better than them. Just um, so they could stay meaningful in their lives. And that's a different topic. You know, um, yes, I see a lot of people want to live vicariously through other people. Christ, I try to live vicariously through you, James. So it is what it is. I've always wanted to be a manager of whatever department you work for.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
let
Stop
me
it!
wait. Let me ask y'all this: have y'all seen the movie Precious? Have any of y'all seen the movie
Yeah, I've
Precious?
seen the movie Precious, and
That's actually a perfect example.
uh,
If you know kind of like how the story, how the mother was with the daughter, and then she brung this guy in, don't know really who he is, but then in a way she started mistreating her daughter because in a way she was competing with her because he was looking at the daughter.
Right, right. Yeah, well, what
So
Tori
yeah.
chimed in and said, living vicariously through the kids, she's seen a lot of it. So, yeah, and I know there's a lot of it. I'm sorry to jump in on you. I just want to let you know we do read people's topics. I mean, replies, though, but go ahead, Brandon.
No, I was just saying that because that's a perfect example of things that actually happen. I would say in real life. I've heard stories and actually talked to people. My wife has counseled some people and stuff like that, and to where I would call it you have different type of family dysfunction.
So, is that where you
You
get your
know,
counseling from? Is your wife?
no, oh no, no, we just have
I knew there was
conversations.
something wrong with you, bro. I gotta talk to your wife, man. Coming up with these topics, bro. I'm ready to put her on the line. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What the hell, dude?
No, we have conversations like we have our own personal podcast ourselves. It's like an everyday thing for us. It seemed like.
Oh, you be in one room and she's in the other room and you guys podcasting?
No, just
Oh,
like,
that's that
every
WTF thing, man. I know you got a
what
big house, but dang.
man, what the
What the? Tell her I said hi, by the way, when you talk to her, man. So, and
I
get the
sure
kids a
will.
hug from me. So. Hey, you know what? Let's take a quick break here. We'll be right back at you, folks, in 2 and 2. Stick around. We'll be right back, folks. I forgot to tell you also, don't forget your red solo cup. Get you something to drink because I got mine here. I know Boo's got his somewhere. You purr. So get you a drink, and we'll be right back here with another great topic and great segment of Respect the Talk. Ready to travel bigger, better, and smarter in 2026? Pride and Glory Travel and Cruise Planners has unforgettable trips lined up, and you don't want to miss these. Starting May 1st, on board Royal Caribbean's Wander the Seas, departing Miami, stops in Coco Cay, San Juan, and Charlotte Amelia. Balcony rooms starting at just $15.84. On June 17th, experience the ultimate vacation. 2 nights in Las Vegas, 6 nights in Hawaii, then 2 more nights back in Vegas. This dream vacation starts at just $5,000 for 2 people. Coming in July, date to be announced. Explore Alaska on board the Carnival Miracle. See the Tracy Arm Ford, Seymour Glacier, Skagway, Janua, and Saskatchewan, and Victoria. Inside cabins start at $904 per person. Then October 17th, enjoy an 8-day Caribbean cruise on the Lure of the Seas, leaving Fort Lauderdale, making stops in Williamstown, Orangestown, and Coco Cay, starting at just $1027 per person. And on November 29th, wrap up the year with an 8-day cruise from Miami, going to Nassau, Coco Cay, and Falmouth, Jamaica, starting at just $747 per person. Don't have the full amount up front? No problem. With FlexPay, you can secure your spot today and pay over time. Spots are limited, so act now. Call 920-265-8143 or visit prideandglorytravel.com. Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planners, because your next chapter deserves a better view. All right, folks, we are back here again for our next segment of On Respect to Talk. We're going to talk about some movies and films. Oh my God, my nephew pulled this up here before we jump into this here. I've seen the Wayans brothers. They put together some really, really crazy films. Let me explain a little bit to you, and then we'll talk about this here, folks. The parody franchise is back with Scary Movie 6, and the trailer just dropped. A lot of people are excited because the Wayans are involved again, and they were the heart of the original movies. You already know they're going to spoof Scream because that is tradition at this point. There will probably be jokes about Wednesdays since that show took over pop culture. I would not be surprised if they poke fun at Halloween with Jamie Foxx Curtis again. We might also see parodies of Megan, Get Out, and Smile. The question is whether this one will feel fresh or just recycled. Horror parodies only work if the audience only actually gets the reference. So we will see if that still got it. The first scary movie was released in 2000, folks, and I remember watching that, James, and I remember watching all of them because the Wayans brothers were crazy. I mean, they were just in living color. That's where they first came out from. And they kicked it, and that show was just crazy at that time. So
Yeah, yeah, they were. You got to look at some of their parody movies just because they are hilarious. Aside from the scary movie franchise, there was also the "Don't Be a Menace to South Central while
Yeah,
drinking
and
your
yeah.
juice in the hood." Yeah.
Oh, they
So
had a few
these
of them
guys,
out.
yeah, these guys are good at that.
They are very, very good, man. Who did? Was that "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker"? Was that one of the Wayans? Yeah,
I
Keenan I. Wayans was in there. He was one of the main
Yeah,
characters in there. Yep. And then there was
yeah,
man. They just God the movies they did, but the scary movie franchise was just now how good this was going to be. I really don't know. When I seen that they were dropping a 6, I'm like you. Is it going to be kind of like what they already did? Or
yeah,
what?
yeah. I mean, you you hit that on the head. Very few franchise get better with time, and
Right.
usually by the time you get to a 2 or 3, it's just you say to yourself, they could have kept that.
Right. Well, three to
So
five wasn't
I'm
them
waiting.
though. They got the rights back to start going back to produce. I think the producers screwed them back in the day. Well, they were the producers, but I think they got screwed by the movie theater, and the movie theater took over 3, 4, and 5, and they got their rights back probably to do 6 now. So I really don't know the dynamics. I would have to look into the logistics of what happened to that movie because I know they don't like. I'm not going to say that because that's crazy. That'd be stupid. So I won't say that. But anyway, there's all kind of things that happen to people in the movie industry. So only God knows what happened with 3 and 4 and 5. I don't know why they went the opposite direction.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, I mean, it that happens in the movie world. Maybe they decided that they wanted to get out, but the the um, movie corporation decided that it was too big of a money maker to just
well,
let go. They did the same thing with 50 Cent and the Power franchise.
right, yeah,
He got out of it, and but HBO saw that as a huge moneymaker and a huge draw, so they kept it going.
right. Well, I was going to say something, but I'm going to work this into a different segment because, well, it's not even a different segment. I'm getting away from this parody, but because I'm going to talk about something else that kind of bugged me today, and I seen this, and I had to check somebody on Facebook, not check them, but we just kind of correct them on Facebook. So now we're getting away from this topic, and we're going to go to our other topic in a little bit. Because this young man, he put something on Facebook, and I can't remember. He was sharing a post, and it started out like this: when white people talk about black people, it's racism. When black people talk about white people, it's free speech. And I looked and I'm like, wait a minute, that's BS, dude. Because and I even told him that I said, dude, that's BS because I know a lot of black people that are racist. I mean, color has nothing to do with being racist. You can be a Chinaman and be racist. It doesn't make a difference. That has no. So why are you tagging that with black people being, because the only people that are racist is white people? No, black people are racist. Chinese are racist. It's how you conduct yourself out there in the public and treat others. That's you're either prejudiced or racist, one of the two. But those two things you don't own that by your nationality. I don't know where he even came off with that at. I mean, just it was stupid.
It was. If anybody who could think that, I mean, it, it's along the same lines of something else that I heard today, which is why is it that when it's um, two black people and crime is involved, so black on black crime, but when white people are out there committing crimes against their own, then there's usually a mental issue involved.
Yeah.
I mean, while that statement has validity because there is a discrepancy in the media and how the two are portrayed, the bottom line
Right.
is that crime is crime,
Yeah.
wrong is wrong, and prejudice and racism is universal. It,
Exactly.
it you can get that tagline regardless of who you are.
Right. Well, yeah. So that way, when he said that, I literally wrote BS on there and had to correct him on whoever wrote that he was sharing a post that said that stupid stuff, because it's like, if you nuts, man, I know a ton of black people that are just as racist as white people. So it has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do. So don't even go down that line. But some people just get whitewashed and thrown into this little bubble that they just think that they have their own mentality of thought pattern, and there are some things that does happen in this world that really irritates me, though. Okay, and we're getting away from this next segment, but there are some things that really irritate me. One, and I've been thinking about this. Okay, you take a black person in a group of a bunch of white people, and then that black person's friends with all the white people. So then that black person have a falling out with the one white person out of the whole group of black white people. And all of a sudden the black person's the bad guy and all the white because they fell out with the one. It just, it's a thought pattern. Don't worry about it. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happens in the world. It could, because that's how crazy this world is. It makes people go down that rabbit hole thinking that that's what's happening, because all of a sudden now, because you fell out with the one white friend and you're the only black friend in this whole group, now all the white friends are going to turn against the black friend. So
Well, you know though, the person that made that comment comes from a bigger school of thought. And that school of thought, and our VP has echoed it, is that white people now feel like they have to be ashamed of who they are or of their race. And us as black folks have never, ever, ever suggested that white people be ashamed of what they've done or what their ancestors have done.
no, not at all.
Take accountability for what they're doing now.
Right.
Realize that there are some systemic issues that have taken place over the centuries that have put us meaning black folks as at a disadvantage,
Yeah.
and that some of those disparities that you see in both neighborhoods, education, opportunities are all built on the back of some of those things that have happened in history.
Right. Yeah.
So that no one is expecting white folks to be ashamed of who they
No,
are.
absolutely not. No.
We are not asking you to make amends for your ancestors' evil deeds.
Right. Yeah.
The sins of the father don't
Right.
translate.
Exactly.
We are not asking for that.
No.
However, understanding will breed a lot of will breed a lot in future um togetherness, future peace.
Yeah.
I think there
Well, first they got to get a heart, though. That here's the thing, bro. And I've seen this down in so many arenas where I live at here in Florida, because you got a couple of different kind of hearts. Okay, you got one heart that cares and sit there and say, why did our people feel that they could actually treat others like this? They care. They can feel that. Not that we're trying to make them feel guilty about nothing. They see this and they say, how did our race come up to being able to think they could treat others like this? Then you got the other heart that says, oh, that was way back then. Who cares about what happened way back then? Now, those are totally two different hearts. One caring about what happened in the past. The other one don't give a shit. And so the one that don't give a shit is not going to give a shit about today either. The one that has a heart about what happened in the past is going to make sure that they themselves aren't going to repeat what happened in the past, because that's where their heart is right now. So those are the
Right.
two different kind of hearts we got to look out for. The ones that don't give a shit, that sits there and say, "Well, I don't care what happened in the past. That was so long ago." That means, dude, what's wrong with you?
Right. And there's that third category of person who feels like they have to go out of their way to prove that they're not prejudiced or racist. And me as a black person, I don't want that type of person around me either.
No, because I got a black friend. What does that mean? Woo, big whoopee. What does that
Right,
mean?
right.
I was
And
in the
I
service with a black guy, so I'm not racist. Dude, you didn't have a damn choice but to be. What the hell are you talking about?
right. But I also don't want that person who is um oh, I know my ancestors did your ancestors wrong, so I'm gonna go out of my way to make sure that you're taken care of, whether I deserve it or
No,
not.
right? No, that exactly, and that's not what any that's not what any black person should be calling for.
Right.
We want
No,
people to understand what happened in the past, and learn from that, and just acknowledge it and say, a good I'm sorry that happened to you guys. That's all it takes is, I'm sorry that happened to you guys, and just not
I'll
repeat
do
it.
my best to
And
make sure it never
never
happens
happens
again.
again, right?
That
And
that
just nobody asking for you to get upset about what your ancestors did, or try to make reprimand for what your people did. No, we just want you to just acknowledge it happened, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure it doesn't happen again. Period. Full
right.
stop.
And that kind of takes us into the whole DEI and affirmative action discussion, because both of those will take into account that there are people out there who are talented or could be exceptional in a category that just never had that
Opportunity,
opportunity
exactly. Yeah,
to get
exactly.
to get in that position.
Yeah,
And that's what DEI and affirmative action was all meant to do. It
right.
was meant to open up doors to positions and places that were theoretically close to us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy, So I don't know. It just yeah, it's it's nothing. I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to try to get anybody to feel
No
feel
one wants
sad.
guilt.
No, nobody wants guilt.
Right.
So nobody
Nobody's
wants guilt.
expecting.
Uh, I got breaking news that Christy Nome just got humiliated not long ago today regarding ICE. Well, I'm sure she was, because she should have never been. I mean, that really, I don't even know how she got that. Well, we know how she got the job, So, anyway, let's talk about breaking news today, you guys. Okay. USA News, patriotism, and war talk. Let me start by this clearly so nobody twists what I'm saying. Okay. Just because someone wraps themselves in a flag does not make them more patriotic than the next person. It just doesn't. My family served in the military. I have helped raise money for veterans. I personally have supported service members as however I could. So do not confuse disagreement with disrespect. Having a different opinion about sending troops into war does not mean that you love your country or any less. War is not a hashtag. It is not a campaign message. It is real lives. When leaders talk about potential American deaths like it is just part of the plan, that should make people uncomfortable. Nobody in their right minds, and I mean nobody in their right mind, should be okay with losing American service members to casualty. Yes, there are bad actors in the world. That does not automatically mean every military move is the right move. We can debate foreign policy without questioning each other's loyalty. These are my opinions. You are entitled to yours. But if the United States is officially at war, then we should all be asking, how did we get here? That conversation matters. Either way, peace should always be the goal. Now, this conversation came up. because I was having issues, not issues, but I was talking to somebody online, and I posted this about Facebook because people send them, and especially here in Florida, down south here, because, and I don't mean to knock you, Florida people, Floridian people, but you, for some weird reason, I've noticed that, and I'm not saying all, but most, wrap themselves in this flag like they're the only patriots in the world, and the Democrats aren't, and that's because Trump is pounding the pavement, telling them that Democrats are and liberals and independents aren't patriots, and people are running around believing that crap. And I've always said nobody's trying to destroy this country, but the people overseas. Biden didn't try to destroy this country. The first Bush didn't try to destroy this country. Clinton didn't try to destroy this country. They just got different views on how to run the company. Obama didn't try to destroy this country. They just got different views on how to run this country. That's all that is. So to wrap yourself in this flag to say you're not a patriot and all this other crap, I think it's just a bunch of garbage. And I'm sick of people acting like that, and I've had people sit there and tell me, well, my family served in the military. Well, so did mine. What the hell does that mean? What the hell is that with the cross of T in China? What does that got to do with anything? What does that make you more patriotic because your family was in the service? So was mine.
Right, right.
So that's just
you're looking at one of your family members that was in the service. So thank you.
huh?
You're looking at one of your
I
family
know.
members that was in the
Yeah,
service.
exactly. You. And I got my dad was in the army. My brother Kevin was in the Navy. You was in the army. I mean, I got
I was
family.
Navy.
I'm using the Navy. Okay, so I got family members. So that don't make me any more patriotic than the next person sitting next to me that I got family in the service. So what? That don't make me not less American or more American. I mean, people got to get off that well, I don't know what it is that they're on that pedestal, wrapping themselves in red, white, and blue, and thinking, "Oh my God, I'm more patriotic than the next person." Put a flag outside my house and say I'm a patriot.
Right, right. And I had this conversation with the young lady more recently, um, and she asked me, she said, "You were in the military, right?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "When you see a person flying a flag outside of their home now, what do you think about that person now?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She said, there seems to be a new group of people that fly flags, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess you're right." You know, some of the more extreme MAGA seem to be more the ones that are driving around with huge flags on the back of their
Yeah,
trucks,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
it's almost like the American flag has replaced the old Confederate flag.
right. Yeah, like that's
You
supposed to
know,
make them more patriotic than the next person in the car driving without a flag.
yeah, yeah, and before anybody thinks it, this was a young white woman that said, "Yeah, I'm usually thinking that the person that's flying that huge flag outside of their house is more likely to be racist and an extremist than the person who isn't." And I was like, "Wow." So when they're out flying that flag like that, because of the MAGA movement, I think it has it's changed the dynamic of who most people see, or who most logical people see as patriots. If you go back even 20 years, it was considered, well, a little bit more than 20 years. If you go back 30 years, it was considered disrespectful to turn the US flag into a piece of clothing.
Well, yeah, exactly. I know. You're not even supposed to
You
wear, it's not supposed to touch the ground. It's not supposed to be worn as a piece of clothing. Now you got people wearing it all over the place. They're wearing it as underwear. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, wait a minute, what happened? And you talk about because somebody kneeled and didn't, that they're disrespectful. It's like, really? But now we're talking
exactly.
about Kaepernick and going back, so
Yeah, I knew, I caught the reference.
you talking about, I find it so ironic because I see so many people on Facebook now. They have to go back 30 years to Clinton to bring up a point. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's 30 years ago. Clinton was in office in 1999 was when he left office, I think it was. This is 2026, so you're going back 26 years to try, just to pull something out of your butt to have something to talk about? Really? To compare something to? I'm like, come on, really? That's the world. Anyway, this is crazy, man. I love our country, and yes, I am a patriot. Yes, I am an American. And yes, I do
And
love our country. What they did, they
I
got,
do too.
go ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
love our country. I don't necessarily agree with everything that we do.
Well, exactly, and you shouldn't. If you had a brain for yourself, if you weren't that what is was it the lion that didn't have a brain? In the Wizard of Oz, was it the lion that didn't have a brain, or was it the scarecrow?
That was a scarecrow.
Scarecrow didn't have a brain. So
Hmm.
if you're not a scarecrow, then you should have a brain and be able to think for yourself, and not to let somebody else tell you how to think or how to act. Because I mean that's crazy. I would never let no one man tell me or woman tell me how to think. I don't care what that may be. It's just insane. And I would let nobody tell me outside the Bible. That's what I believe in. Because see, and this is where a lot of this frustration comes in at. And I had this conversation on Facebook because I was saying I'm not mad. I don't get mad over this. I get very frustrated because, and I'm not trying to wear my Christianity either on my shoulders. Sometimes I think I might talk about it too much, and I got to get off of that. But I do care about people, and I care about the loss of lives. I don't give a crap whether they overseas or the United States, they next door, down the street. I care about the loss of lives. I care about people on death row and making sure that I'm hoping and praying that they're not innocent at the end of this, electrocution. Because it has happened in our past in our country. I just watched a show the other day where this guy sat in prison for 15 years, and this is just recently. 15 years they took out of his life, and he was innocent. And guess what? He was a white guy. My heart dropped because how do you give him that 15 years back? You couldn't give him enough money to give him that 15 years back. So I care about people. I don't care about your nationality. I don't care about what color you are. I just care about people. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. And people were like, well, these are brave soldiers and brave soldiers. There's nobody that brave that says, I want to go in here and die. I'm sorry. You can be as brave as you want. Nobody's going to say, I want to die.
Right. And they are, and as a former military person, you put your life on the line. You know that going in, but that is not something that you hope for or expect.
Right. You would hope that the
No.
government will make the right decision not to put your butt in harm's way
Right.
unless it is
Right. Exactly.
absolutely necessary. Unless it is absolutely necessary. That's like saying, and I posted that today, that's like saying, okay, you joined the police force, you got shot. Oh, well, you knew what you joined for. You knew what you signed up for. No. I mean, I signed up for the people, to help keep, the place safe, but I don't want to die. That's not what I signed up
Exactly.
for, is to die.
Now, and 2 points on that is the people who are so quick to just change change their opinions based on what one man says. Keep in mind that that's cult-like behavior, and that's why us more logical and free-thinking people are quick to say you are in a cult.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And the other point that I have to make is that if you are a free thinking individual and you exercise any type of logic in that thought, the first thing you have to say to yourself is why? Why are we going to war?
Right.
Why was this necessary? You know, I, and the producer joked before we came on air and said, we were waiting to see what the smoke screen was going to be because
Yep.
the Epstein files are going horribly.
Yeah.
Um,
The
the
economy's going
polling is going
horrible.
horribly. Um, the economy is horrible.
And it's gotten
He's
worse now because of this war. Look, you see the stock market has
yeah,
dropped way down and gas prices shot way up. And it's getting worse now.
yeah.
So that's really going to help you out.
This whole war thing is horrific for us Americans all the way around.
Yeah.
And it it's funny because someone showed a clip, a comparison clip where in 2000, when talking about President Obama, he mentioned that uh, our current president mentioned that Obama was gonna go to war because his numbers were so bad and the economy was so bad. So he was trying to distract. Fast forward to 2026 when he's in office and he's the man in charge, and we are actually bombing and going to war with
Yeah.
Iran, and it's some good American soldiers might have to be sacrificed. Sacrificed for what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Based on your own thought and logic, it's because your numbers are so bad.
Right. Yeah.
You're
And you
trying to
following
distract.
Benjamin Netanyahu over into that crap, which you shouldn't have been doing, And I read something today, and it was a really good read. It was really long, but it was a very, very good read. And there was a gentleman on there, and he made some very good points. You might have to go to my Facebook page because I think I reshared it. And I said this is a long read, but you might have to go to my Facebook page and read it. But he was talking about the reason we people in the United States are so okay with war over in the waters because we're protected over here by the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. We're like an island over here all by ourselves. All the wars are always taken overseas. So now these people are getting bombed and have to put their lives back together, and they got to find out where their apartment is, where their car is, where their home is, all in the name of where we freed them. How can you say you freed me when I don't have an apartment building no more to go home to? How can you say you freed me when you killed my parents in this building that you blew up by mistake or whatever you did? How can you sit there and say you freed me with all this damage that you just caused in my country? Look at the Gaza Strip. There is no Gaza Strip. It's gone. So it's like, how can you say these people can come back and rebuild their lives? With what? There's not a house standing. But we did a good thing. We freed these people. To do what? Dig the rubble? And those are the benefits that we don't have to deal with in these US of A's. We never have to worry about digging through rubble because I guarantee you, if we as Americans had to sit there and sift through rubble to find our loved ones and our homes and our pictures and everything else, our family members, we wouldn't be so quick to say, hey, you freed us. We wouldn't be so quick to be okay with war if we had to dig through that same rubble right here with our own hands.
Yeah. And there's so much there that people really need to look into, because when you talk about stuff like that, for example, the destruction of the Gaza Strip, you have to know the history of the Gaza Strip. You have to know that the Gaza Strip was technically an open air prison.
Right.
That wasn't a last refuge for uh the people there.
No.
That was an open air prison, a generational prison where you were basically born into prison,
years.
into being a prison.
Yeah.
the only people um, who truly gained from this war would be the Israelis, who were already encroaching on the Gaza Strip
Right. Exactly.
because they felt that it should have been theirs in the first place.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
the Palestinians that lived in the Gaza Strip had no legal recourse if someone from Israel said, "I want this land."
Yeah.
They
No.
could basically force a person out of their home and take their land.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, and that's, that's imminent. That's like that thing we have here in the United States called eminent domain, which is absolutely crazy. They can come over there and just take your property. And yeah, I am against war unless I have to have a reason to go to war. I was upset when Obama and them bombed. I don't like anybody bombing. And I hate it when people sit there and try to do the comparison game. Well, did you complain when Obama bombed, or did you complain when Biden? Yes, I did. Go back and look at my post. If you want to go back 3 years ago when they did it and find my post, yes, I complain because I don't like anybody's death. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I am a child of God, and I don't want to see, because they're always guaranteed, always, always, always going to be innocent lives killed. Always, and there's no justification for innocent lives being killed. I'm sorry. If all can be helped, then we should do everything in our power to make sure that does not happen.
And I'll give you another bit of morsel food for thought. People wonder how, for example, ISIS was formed. Think
Oh
about
yeah,
it this way. This
you pissed them off.
currently, this is 3 different holidays. This is the time of 3 different holidays. If you're Jewish, this is I forget the name of it,
Yeah.
but there's a Jewish holiday going on right now, a Muslim holiday going on right now, and a Catholic holiday going on right now,
Right.
all simultaneously. So to bomb a country during this is already wrong.
Yeah.
Now you kill innocent civilians during a religious holiday. And how easy do you think it will be in 10 years to radicalize that 8-year-old who lost her parents?
Well, exactly. It's
That
exactly.
7-year-old that lost their parents.
And that's what I
You
keep
know,
saying.
when
Go ahead.
when
I'm
they
finished.
turn 17, 18 years old, how difficult is it going to be to convince them that America is evil
They didn't already
and that
turn.
there are all evil people?
They didn't already turn. Because if you remember, the Middle East was all about, always, 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 it always has been about religion. Okay? They took out the supreme leader. The supreme leader is just not the supreme leader, he was a religious leader. And you cannot defeat an ideology. You just cannot do that. I don't care how you slice it, how you dice it. Them people has been fighting over Christianity over in that area for 5 million years. I mean,
Yeah.
5 million. I mean, look it up, folks. Look it up. You think I'm joking? They have been fighting in that area for over 5 million years. If there was ever a world in 5 million years, I might be exaggerating on that many years, but that they have always. That's why Jesus Christ was crucified over there. I mean, they always been fighting over that over religion. This is
all,
nothing
all
new.
three all three religions, well, all 4 of the major religions got their start there
Yeah, and you
in the
think you're going
Middle
to
East.
defeat that?
And it's not about defeating it. It's in this case, the America agenda is and always has been follow the money.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
money is our interest
Yeah, oil.
because it definitely has nothing to do with the religion, because the orange one, you know, we're talking about the same guy who couldn't answer what was his. He says he's such a big Christian and that the Bible is his favorite book, but he couldn't name one book. And once he did try to, he
He
said
had it
2
wrong.
Corinthians.
Yeah.
You know, so that says right there. Anybody, I'm Muslim, and I haven't picked up a Bible in over 30 years, but I know that it's called Second Corinthians.
Right. Yeah.
So you
Exactly.
really have to be completely,
2 Corinthians.
yeah, you have to be completely oblivious to what the Bible is to say 2 Corinthians.
Yeah, I know.
And to claim that was your favorite book
Right.
that you misnamed.
Yeah.
Come
yeah.
on.
It's
For him, it has nothing to do with religion.
no, not at all. Not at all. Mhm. Yeah, okay, man. You
His
know what?
whole mentality is transactional.
Oh, it
Everything
is.
about him is transactional. So it is truly follow the money.
Yeah. And I'm sorry that so a lot of these people just cannot figure it out, So let's get out of here, man. It's been a long day. Not just teasing. It hasn't been a long day. It's been a wonderful day. It is 6:00, folks. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. You got something else to say to me, June? Boo, what's up?
No, sir. Just that I love you and I love all of our watchers.
I love you too, man, and thank you too. And we definitely love all our people that's viewing us. My name is Jerry B. This is James Jr. Boo. Hey, check in with us next week again, folks, and follow us on YouTube and all the other places you can find us at, on any place you can find us at. Take care. God bless. Peace out. See ya.
Love y'all.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.